combinations don't have. So that's my sort of default starting point for a guitar. Does it? Does it do that stuff? And this appears to do that pretty well. But you can't do that for the whole gig. Though it did occur to me earlier, maybe we could just play a whole lot of Rosie for 3 hours. I would be lynched, however, wouldn't I? So, the idea of this guitar is to start from there and then mess about with different pickup combinations. And of course, our old friend, the volume knob. Hopefully everyone here is aware that the volume knob in any guitar is basically giving you an infinite number of amp channels. If you're one of these players who turns everything up to 10 and leaves it there, you're missing out on some of the more fun things your guitar can do. With the moderately overdriven sound you get there, you turn the volume knob down a bit and it's not going to get quieter, but it is going to get kind of thinner, and therefore you perceive it as sharper and spikier. So sometimes that's the sound that cuts through the mix best. Sometimes you want added meat. So I'm a big fan of that. You look for sounds with the volume knob. And then you mess about with other pickups. You've encountered the cow tone already. Various single coil permutations going on here. So I'll talk you through the 5-way switch. That position there, position 2, you get this coil and this coil. So it's a little bit more knot-flurry, a little glassy. I'll now be eccentric and go to position 4, where you've got this coil and that coil. It's still got that single coil character, but maybe a bit more of the spirit of a humbucker in there. I think it sounds a bit meaner, this one, compared with that. Those kind of sounds you would go for the position 4. And position 3 is the inbred one. It's this and this. If you're in there, all that stuff there, you hear it's way more glassy. And it kind of has its but it's still not enough. I'm a pretty hard person to please sometimes, as Ed will tell you later. If I pull this up, I can split the front humbucker, thus getting arguably the most single coilish sound of the lot. So I might want to use that in anger. Or I might want to roll it down. You remember how much I like volume knobs? That was only a minute or two ago I told you about that stuff. So now, with this fairly filthy amp setting, I can get a passable front single coil clean rhythm sound. And the volume is currently somewhere between 2 and 2.5. I'm looking for the sweet spot where it's loud enough but still clean enough. In real life, you might be playing a song where you need 2 different sounds, 2 different volume knob settings. You have to shift from one to the other as quickly as you can. I'd like you to meet the button of death, which helps me to achieve this. What this button here does, whatever I've done with the controls on the guitar, is rendered immaterial, because I push this button and it just gives you that bridge humbucker going straight into the output jack. So so you can hear that there's so it's nice to be able able to do that without having to tap dance on anything. Hopefully you approve of this button and you want one of your own.
Yeah.
Everyone want a button like that in their own guitar?
Yeah.
Wrong. What you want to do is buy one of these guitars with the button. Much better idea. So that's roughly what this guitar does. There's one other thing at the back. I don't want to demonstrate in too much detail because it hurts when I talk. But this is called the tremolo. I think it's a pun or a play on words. I think it might be funny, I'm not sure, but what it does is what it claims to do. It turns the tremolo into no tremolo. Currently you can see there's this rod thing kind of coming down from the claw there, and there's a tube, or shaft if you will, here attached to the bridge block. Currently there is no friction there is no problem, and if I want to go, I can. If I want to stop doing that, I can tighten these and the bridge won't move anymore, which is really good if you want to play those kind of things. You've seen with the normal floating trem on a guitar, you can bend the E string surprisingly flat without touching it. Alright, that's me bending the A string. Look what it does to the E string. You can't run a ship like that, right? So if I lock that, I'm going to get a lot less interference from one string to another. And as a bonus, if you like messing about with tunings, that's kind of fun. Now I can undo this thing and I can get back to what I really like, which is doing that. So there you go. These are some of the many wondrous things about this guitar. Also, it has no paint on it, so if I were to accidentally, I won't, but if I were to have a mishap of some kind whereby the guitar collided with another object, I wouldn't feel quite as bad about it as I did with the pretty guitar, which has had its first war wound now, I'm afraid so. Some of the top can be salvaged. No, it's not that. But this is a bit more child-proof. I can be trusted with a finish like that. Okay, hopefully you all want one of these because I've run out of stuff to tell you about it. Ed, save me. I'm dying up here.